I'm in Ukraine. Hello.
Hi
International.
Natalie, I'm in New Zealand and I already miss Ukraine. And now because of the lockdown, I can't go to Ukraine and that's misfortunate, but looking forward going back.
Yes, I know that you have very deep roots in Ukraine. How old were you when you moved away out of your country?
Oh, I was about five and lived in Israel and since then more than 20 years out of Ukraine and just last year I came back and had really good time, and since then I'm every year I'm coming back for longer and longer. Yeah,
This is lovely. This is cool to hear for a patriot like myself.
yeah. Well, who knows? Maybe eventually I will move permanently there, but who knows?
Hmm, cool. Well, it is good to stay in contact with you, and I'm glad we have a chance to communicate. Thank you for your time. Now, talking about nationality, do you feel more of a New Zealander, a citizen of Israel, a Ukrainian? What do you feel more like?
Well, so I'm a mixture of cultures, so I always strive to be unique and different from the normality. So I can't put myself in any category, and I really like that. So when somebody telling me, "Okay, you are a normal person," oh, it's kind of getting offended because I build and work so much to build my unique character and also show that uniqueness to other people and not only women but also men and then kind of I can't put myself, oh, I'm a New Zealander, I'm a Israeli, I'm a that. No, I just have documents of different countries and it's just a document, but my culture, it depends on my experiences in life and the people I meet and what I've been through.
But
So
your knowledge of people, your experience, your ability to integrate different nations naturally brought you to the career that you have, which is you're a psychologist, you're a professional psychologist. Am I right?
yeah, so I'm a therapist. I'm coming from a background of social work, and before that, I was doing lots of coaching. Uh, so when the pickup community started back in the US, I started reading the book called The Game. It started from the LA, and since then, like we developed communities in Israel of pickup. And initially, I thought it was about picking up women, but after a while, I discovered so it's a community of men who working on self-improvement and living the life they really want, eliminating fear, eliminating limiting beliefs, and allowing themselves to achieve the best in life in every field, not only in relationship, but in business and finances and the place of living. So one of the reasons you see me not in Israel, not in Ukraine, but in New Zealand at the moment, because I see New Zealand as the best country in the world to live. So that's why I'm here. So if I'm thinking I want to raise a family sometime in the future, I would like my family to have the best. Why would I compromise on least if I can have the best?
So you're saying that for the man to achieve a really great woman in his life, he needs to start from himself. He needs to make himself the best type of person he's capable of being. Is this right?
Yeah, so it took me a while to understand it because when I started the pickup, I thought, oh, maybe I'll need to have the game or to have the pickup line or to memorize some patterns. But after a while, kind of it gave me results. But eventually, wait a second, I'm memorizing something that somebody else said, but it doesn't work for a long time. Maybe it can give you some. several dates and get women into bed. But if a person wants a real relationship, long-term relationship, eventually the woman will see who he is. So the man can't disguise his negative and the weak sides. So uh, when he's kind of going out with a woman for a long time. That's why if you want to attract successful, good woman, he needs to work on himself, because the woman successful a woman won't choose him if he didn't work on himself. So that's what all the pickup is all about. Eventually, to the man will improve himself and show who he really is, to be honest about who he really is, what values are, and allow the woman to choose if she wants that or not. Yeah.
I agree. I agree, and I even have an experience of the local psychologist who met a Ukrainian guy, successful, smart. They were walking dogs together, and they just started talking. And he said his story that he was a loser before, like totally disaster. He couldn't attract anybody. He didn't have a proper job, and then he thought of himself like, look, I need to make an order in my life. And then he found a professional coach that was a psychologist who helped him see himself from a distance, and who could pick the things that the guy didn't have a clue about. He wouldn't notice it himself. It's like having an illness and living with it with the whole life, and then you just don't know what is different. With as far as I remember, 6 months of coaching, he started putting the order like you are talking about. He started building brick by brick his power, his success, his self-esteem, his confidence. And then now he's married, he has a dog, he has a happy wife, they have a child, he lives the life he wants. And one of the reasons I am talking to you is to find out if you have a specific program for the gentlemen that want to change their life. They want to do something different, but they don't know where to start. They think they're perfect. Well, actually, we are all perfect. I believe we are all great. But there is a certain goal, and there are certain steps to that goal. And if you want to achieve the goal and you've never had it before, you might need some help of building your way there. So, can you help the guys? Do you know how?
Well, of course, because I have like my personal experience, and also I got a chance to hang out with really successful people who really good with women in different countries around the world, and I managed to learn from them as well. And this field is so big, so uh, when a person really will get into that, he will understand that all his life is going to change, and on the way he's building his life, the women will come. So it's a matter of working on all the life areas. It's about values, what kind of relationship he wants, why he wants a relationship, how he sees this the perfect relationship, which value he has, what's the like. It's a lot of areas, and when the person knows and recognizes what he wants, so we start also working on the basics. If it's like body language, the way he present themselves, it's awareness about how people perceive him. It's about social basic social skills. So that's so much needs to be done, and it depends. Like the first stage, of course, is to assess the person where he stands. What is the starting point, and recognize together where he's heading, where is he wants to, what he want to achieve. Maybe some people want to have like permanent relationships. Some people just want to elevate their confidence and have some dating, and some people want family and kids. Everybody has different stages. So of course, the first step is to work with the client and see what they want to achieve, and see what's stopping them. It's working on limiting beliefs. Just example, there is so much stuff to work on. I can talk hours about it, but
Mm-hmm.
regards your question, definitely there is a program, and it's depends on each person. So it will be for each person, it will be different.
Yeah, it's always an individual approach. When we
Yeah.
work with people, we need to get the recipe, and I understand what you're talking about. Now, I have a common request from very nice guys, extremely nice guys. They would be, for example, around 55 years old. He has stable, regular income. He has good family values, but he's been working all his life. Well, due to different reasons, maybe self-esteem, maybe some other reasons, maybe like parents that needed more attention, he missed the train, and he couldn't get married in the right time. But he still wants to have family. He desires to meet a person, but he's like 55-ish kind of. And women look at his age and like, so yeah, well, I want to have these guys. They are cool. And what I see is missing is like several pieces of puzzle that, well, can be put together, for his happiness to happen. But do you believe a guy 55-ish kind of years old can get family, have children, and what would you advise to this kind of a guy?
So definitely everyone in every age can achieve everything in the relationship they want. That's period, because people want to be in relationship and together in all ages. Of course, there are people who kind of find by themselves, but if a person wants, so that's also good. And also, I don't see specific like there is a right time for that. You know, there is a social norms that you have to get married by 30 or something like that. I don't see life in this way. If that person chose to have a career and work and do some other stuff, that's completely fine. There is nothing normal about it. And if the person was ready at 55 to get into a relationship, that's also good. There are also a lot of women that didn't have a relationship long term or didn't get married or kids, and the same, they chose to be, I don't know, a career in science because they been more excited, and after a while they decide, okay, I'm ready for a relationship. It's better to have like a relationship like at age 55 but be ready for it, instead of being 30, feel not ready for it, and do something under social pressure and get a divorce. That's what we can see quite often happening. So every person is different. There is no rules in relationships, and every person in each couple needs to make their own relationships. There is no written books put in stone. There is no such thing. It's a myth.
Dmitry, we are living in such a time that we are moving these social norms ourselves. Now it is normal to be single and dating when you are like 55-ish, for a guy, for example. For a lady, it is normal to achieve career till the age of 40, although the general community and society is putting a lot of pressure on these kind of people. For example, parents, friends, when are going to have a child if she's married and doesn't have a baby? When are going to finally get married when she's single? It really gets very annoying. And what I see is it is absolutely realistic for the guy to achieve his personal happiness at any age if he does not use those social norms and stereotypes to the opposite sex. For example, if he is, and I want your opinion on this. If you believe that you are 55 years old, then date women that are 40, 38 or so, and you can get it going much faster, because if you are using the social stereotypes thinking that you cannot have a baby when you're 40 years old, then uh, she only has to be younger than 30, then this man will struggle finding sustainable relationship.
Well, there is a middle ground here. So, of course, uh, statistically speaking, it will be a lot harder for a man who is like about 50, 60 to have someone who is 20 years in, or 30 years and younger. It will be a bit harder. Is it impossible? No, it's not impossible. It is possible.
You have to.
Yeah, if a person in this age will really want that, he will need to put an effort and see how long and how much he has patience to find somebody like that. So
Yeah.
it can happen in 1 or 2 days. It can happen after several years. Maybe it won't happen. Who knows? But regards there is not only like a social stereotype, but there some women actually can't have babies after 40. It will depend on their lifestyle, if they've been healthy, how fertile they are. So, for example, one of the things that I teach is a person also need to understand what kind of women they want. For example, if I'm looking at women that I want a woman who is really looking after her health. So, for example, for me, someone who is drinking and smoking and taking drugs, whatever, it's a big turn off. Doesn't matter if she looks gorgeous, but for me, it will be turn off because my value is health. Because I'm living healthy lifestyle, I will expect my partner will live a healthy lifestyle. So, if, for example, I meet a woman like that who lives like that, maybe in the age of 40, there is a chance that she will be fertile and it's possible to have kids because I know people who already got kids in the age of 40. It's all good. So again, it will be depend, but it's still possible. And if a person who is 50 years old or 60 years old wants someone who is younger, that's also fine. But he needs to understand that probably he will need to put a little bit more effort.
Thank you for your answer. To summarize our conversation, I would like to recommend you and your knowledge and skills to the gentleman that I'm working with. Because I believe it's very clear when a guy speaks to a guy in certain situations. Um, would you be willing to help the guys that I would be sending to?
Of course, I think every man deserves to have really good relationship and have a really wonderful feminine woman on his sides. And I also have like a world experience in different countries, in Israel and here in New Zealand and Thailand and Asia. And I must say, like the Ukrainian women are one of the best in the world. They are one of the most beautiful. They are very feminine and very family oriented. And because I'm coming from this culture, and also I understand and know the British culture, like the Western culture, I can understand how to kind of minimize the gap between what the Ukrainian women want and also what the Western men are looking for. And so I'll be gladly happy to do my best to have the best matches eventually that people will last longer together and stay happy.
Thank you very much, Dmitry. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your insights. And everything is possible. Is this right?
Everything is possible, and even if something eventually kind of won't be possible, but in order to achieve our goal, we still must have most of our resources and focus on everything is possible. So we don't have any
Yeah.
other option. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dmitry. Bye bye.
Awesome. Cheers. Bye.